You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken Tech for your ears.
Right now, as you are listening to this, there is a very good chance that the websites you visit every day are no longer being designed for you. Like, at all. They are actually being structurally engineered for an AI bot to read on your behalf.
Right, which sounds a little dystopian at first.
Yeah, totally. But just wait until you realize that while the machines are out there rewriting the internet, your own deeply human quirks, just feeling guilty about buying a sweater or even simply getting older, those things are single-handedly making or breaking these multi-million-dollar digital strategies.
It really is a massive collision. I mean, on one side, you have AI fundamentally altering the basic architecture of the internet from the ground up. And then on the exact opposite side, you have our incredibly messy, sometimes completely irrational psychology just trying to adapt to a landscape that changes, daily.
Welcome to today's custom-tailored deep dive. We've got a massive stack of sources to go through today, featuring this really wild array of tech updates, marketing strategies, and behavioral data.
It's a great stack today.
It is. And our mission today is to map out this exact collision we just mentioned. We are going to explore how human traits, stuff like envy, guilt, the friction of aging, are holding their ground against the algorithm.
Yeah, the human element is surprisingly resilient.
Exactly. So by the end of this deep dive, you're going to learn why filling an online shopping cart with fun, indulgent items actually guarantees you will abandon it. And we'll also get into why the future of the internet means that two people will literally never, ever see the same Google search results again.
And that last point, that is really the epicenter of this entire shift.
Right.
Because we are witnessing the end of the one-size-fits-all internet. And it is completely upending how information gets distributed.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because that Google update is just the perfect place to start. I mean, the internet used to be like a massive public library, right?
Like everybody walked in through the same doors.
Yeah. You walked in, you saw the exact same books on the shelf as everyone else. If you searched best running shoes, you got the identical top 10 list as a person sitting in a completely different city.
But now, based on what Google is rolling out with Gemini and its AI mode, that shared reality is just gone.
It's turning into a hyper-attentive personal concierge, basically. Like a concierge whispering in your ear who has actively been reading your diary, meaning your Gmail, your calendar, your maps. It reads all that to decide what you are even allowed to see.
And what's fascinating here is how it actually does this. It sets these persistent interest flags in the background because in the past, personalization was honestly incredibly basic.
Right, like searching for coffee and it checks your phone's GPS.
Exactly. It just showed you coffee shops within a 2-mile radius. But now, this continuous AI profile takes your past behavior across every single Google service. And it uses that as the permanent invisible context for your future queries.
So two people typing the exact same phrase.
They are going to receive entirely different results, fundamentally tailored to the profile Google has silently built for them.
Hey, what's wild to me is that it's not just the results changing, it's our actual behavior once we get those results. We are officially in Google's zero-click era.
Yeah, the numbers on this are staggering.
Nearly 60% of searches are ending without a single click to a website. People type a question, they get that AI-generated summary right there at the top of the page, and they just leave.
Which means generic SEO content, those boring 500-word blog posts companies wrote purely to rank for keywords, that is completely dead.
So wait, if generic-owned content is dead and nobody is clicking through to websites, where are the AI summaries pulling the information from?
That is the critical data point. Google's AI overviews are now appearing in 84% of B2B queries. And get this, 51% of the citations in those overviews come from off-site platforms.
Oh, wow. So they're actively bypassing corporate websites.
Completely. The AI is pulling directly from third-party communities. Reddit and YouTube alone are generating more AI citations than all other external sources combined.
That is crazy.
It means the authentic conversations happening in some random Reddit thread or the specific timestamps of a YouTube video, those are your new landing pages. Offsite is the new moat.
Which forces businesses into some incredibly bizarre tactical adaptations.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I was reading that YouTube can now surface a featured places module.
Right, the Maps integration.
Yeah. If a creator mentions a local business and a city in their video, YouTube automatically creates a direct link to that business's Google Maps listing.
Which is incredibly efficient, honestly. It radically shortens the path from discovering something in a video to actually navigating to the physical store.
Oh, for sure. But then you have this other tactic that absolutely blew my mind. So let's say a business wants to upload a promotional video directly to their Google Business profile. If they just upload the raw video file, it's virtually useless.
Because Maps videos are muted by default.
Exactly. So the workaround is you upload that video to Instagram or TikTok first. You use their native tools to generate those big, flashy, moving text captions. You download that video, and then you upload that file to Google Maps.
Because moving text catches the human eye.
Well, sure, but the real reason you do it is because Google's AI reads the text on the screen to understand the context of the muted video. You are literally spoon-feeding moving text to an algorithm so it knows how to rank you.
And that perfectly highlights the weird transition we are navigating right now. If search engines are turning into concierges that read moving text, they are also spawning entirely autonomous agents.
Which means what exactly?
It means we are reaching a point where we are actively building the internet for bots, and humans are practically becoming an afterthought.
Right. I saw Google actually released official guidelines for creating, quote, agent-friendly websites.
Yeah.
We literally have to design for the machines now. The bots browse the web using screenshots, accessibility trees, semantic HTML. They actually demand stable layouts.
Let's break down what that actually means in practice, because semantic HTML sounds pretty dense.
Yeah, give me an analogy here.
Imagine you are building a house. For a human, you can paint a flat wall to look exactly like a door. And a human might be smart enough to push on it to see if it opens anyway.
Okay, makes sense.
That is like a generic div element in web coding. It's structurally meaningless to a machine, even if it looks clickable to a person. But an AI agent, it needs the structural equivalent of a doorknob with a giant neon sign that says open here.
Ah, so that's what an A tag is.
Exactly. Agents need these explicitly actionable A tags. They even look for cursor pointer styling, you know, like when your mouse arrow turns into a little pointing hand, just to mathematically confirm that an element is interactive.
It's a completely alien way of experiencing the web. And there are already tools out there exploiting this. There's this AI tool from the sources called Ask Elephant.
Oh, yeah, the silent participant tool.
Yeah, it automates workflows by just acting as a silent participant. It listens in on your sales calls, it reads your emails, monitors your CRM, and without a human ever clicking a button, it understands the context, autonomously updates Salesforce, creates follow-up tasks, and even flags deals that might be at risk.
It is incredibly powerful infrastructure. I mean, truly. But it comes with a severe human cost. Because while we optimize for these hyper-efficient bots, human beings are drowning in the output.
The AI flood.
Right. The near-zero cost of AI-generated video has created a massive supply explosion. And because of that, we are seeing digital burnout absolutely peak.
The numbers on that are staggering, honestly. 62% of adults report digital burnout right now. 1 in 4 people have recently deleted a social media app entirely just to take a mental break.
It's just to escape the noise.
Yeah. And average Facebook sessions have plummeted. They went from like 2.7 minutes back in 2013 to a projected 54 seconds by 2025. I mean, Instagram is currently punishing non-original content in its algorithm just to try and clean up the sheer volume of garbage in the feed.
It turns out production cost was never the true constraint on digital marketing. Human attention was.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though.
Yeah.
And I want to push back on this whole trajectory for a second.
Okay, go for it.
If we are designing websites with perfectly stable layouts, specifically so AI bots don't get confused, and then on the other side, AI is generating an infinite flood of videos and articles, aren't we just creating a dead internet?
Like a loop.
Yeah, we just have bots making content for other bots to read, while the humans just log off. So why should you, as a listener, even care about digital organic reach or strategy anymore?
That is the existential dread of the modern internet. Perfectly summarized, honestly. But to understand why it's not a dead end, you have to look at basic economic history.
Okay, history lessons, lay it on me.
Whenever a technological flood like AI commoditizes production, it makes generic, basic content effectively free. And when basic needs become free, value immediately and violently shifts to whatever remains scarce.
Okay, so when infinite bot content goes to zero value, what do humans actually consider scarce?
Status, belonging, community, things that literally cannot be instantly generated by an AI prompt. There is a fascinating piece of research we looked at called Envy and the Future of Work. And it argues that as AI lowers the cost of everyday goods and services, consumer demand concentrates heavily in high-income, elastic categories. things like luxury and wellness.
Because we want what we can't easily have.
Well, it is driven by mimetic desire, which is the fundamental human psychological trait where we want what we see other people visibly enjoying.
Ah, so we just want to keep up with the Joneses.
Exactly. And you see this most clearly in the gaming industry, of all places. Billions of dollars are spent every year, not on accessing the game itself, but on digital cosmetics.
So, like skins and outfits.
Right. Identity markers. Buying a digital shirt provides zero functional advantage in the game. It is purely about signaling your status and identity within a community.
And that psychology translates directly to the physical world, too. If you look at the wellness brands in Rachel Hirsch's portfolio from the sources, she points out that strong brands don't just change your perception of a product, they actively change your daily behavior.
Because early attention online is cheap, but durable demand is incredibly rare.
Yeah. Community outlaws the product itself. I mean, look at the running apparel brand, Bandit Running. They are a masterclass in this. They built an incredibly defensible moat against the AI flood without relying on massive paid ad budgets.
They essentially treated physical community as their primary acquisition engine.
Yes. They built community-first retail spaces that double as local hangouts and fulfillment hubs. They hosted run clubs. They did wild, authentic activations like the Unsponsored Project.
But they didn't just rely on good vibes. Right?
No, exactly. They paired that deep community integration with actual, serious performance features, like meticulously designed hidden pockets in their running gear. By nailing the fashion-driven status aspect and the physical performance, they drove an astounding $850 customer lifetime value.
Which is huge. And you see this exact same community-first dynamic in digital financial tech, too.
Oh, like Venmo.
Take Venmo. Venmo won the peer-to-peer payment space, but not because its back-end money transfer technology was vastly superior to the traditional banks.
Right. Sending money is sending money.
Exactly. They won because they added a public social layer. I mean, think about their competitors. Zelle stayed entirely invisible. They embedded themselves quietly into traditional banking apps. Cash App leaned heavily on celebrity endorsements and influencer culture. But Venmo turned a financial transaction into a cultural touchstone.
So what does this all mean? Venmo essentially looked at a boring, utilitarian bank transfer and turned it into a social media feed.
Yep.
They took inside jokes, a stream of random emojis, and they weaponized our mimetic desire to see what our friends are doing. They literally made paying your roommate for half the electric bill genuinely habit-forming.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, all of these entities, Bandit Running, Venmo, even gaming companies, they succeeded because they turned a user's intent into a default behavior.
They made it a habit.
Right. They didn't just sell a product, they gave their audience a shared space to exist in. That shared space, that sense of belonging, is the ultimate shield against the zero-click AI-generated content flood.
And speaking of shared spaces, I think the ultimate proof of this working at a massive, massive scale is NASA's Artemis II mission.
Oh, this was brilliant.
Right. They took a highly technical crewed space flight and turned it into an absolute social media juggernaut. In just 10 days, they generated 3,270 social posts.
Ooh.
They ran a global contest spanning 50 countries where the public could literally design the mission's zero-gravity indicator. But the absolute best part, the astronauts spontaneously filmed a Cree video styled exactly like a cheesy 1980s sitcom intro.
That is amazing.
It was completely unscripted, highly authentic, and people just lost their minds over it online.
It perfectly illustrates that even at the scale of exploring the cosmos, success depends on leveraging deeply ingrained psychological quirks: humor, community, status. And these same quirks, they don't just govern large-scale brand building. They dictate the exact split-second moments when we decide to adopt new technology or when we finally hit the buy button on a website.
Which brings us to the hidden psychology of the checkout cart. Because the data on cart abandonment here is so illuminating. Shopper guilt is a massive, highly measurable force.
It really is.
When a digital shopping cart is loaded up with indulgent or pleasurable items, say an expensive candle or designer shirt, abandonment increases by 8.3% to 17.3%.
So people just walk away.
Yeah, people get right to the finish line, they look at the treats they're about to buy, the guilt kicks in, and they just close the tab.
But the fix for this is purely psychological, and it happens instantly. If you add just one or two highly practical, functional items to that exact same cart, or even if the website just recommends a utilitarian item right there on the checkout page, it fundamentally rebalances the user's perceived utility of the entire purchase.
That is wild. Does it actually work?
Oh, yeah. Doing that cuts cart abandonment by up to 21%, and it reduces measured shopper guilt by over 14%. Oh, and also, Crazy Egg noted that simply showing full costs up front, giving clear delivery dates, and cutting your forms down to just 6 to 8 fields helps tremendously too.
I have to ask, is this cart abandonment data basically the digital equivalent of why physical supermarkets put the boring batteries and the breath mints right next to the candy bars at the checkout line? Like, we just need a practical excuse to justify buying the treat.
Well, it's not just about needing an excuse, though. That is a big part of it. It's really about cognitive dissonance. Balancing utility with pleasure is a fundamental human operating system.
Okay, how so?
When we buy something purely for pleasure, our brain triggers a slight stress response about resource depletion. We feel like we are wasting money. But by adding a functional item like batteries or a necessary household good, we trick our brains into categorizing the entire trip as a productive necessity rather than an indulgent waste. The guilt just vanishes.
That is fascinating. We really are so easy to hack.
We are. And it proves that when you are designing digital experiences, if you ignore how human beings actually operate, your strategy will break.
Yeah.
And that applies to broader demographics too, particularly age.
Right. Age is a massive friction point. The data shows that age explains nearly 40% of the variation in whether someone adopts mobile payment technology.
40%.
Yeah. That completely dwarfs wealth, which only explains 7% of the variance. And occupation explains just 5%.
And we have to ask why that is. Why does usage drop steadily with every single decade of age rather than just being a gap between, say, Gen Z and seniors?
Right. It's not just a binary switch where old people don't use it and young people do. It's a slope.
Exactly. It comes down to cognitive friction and UI design paradigms. Most modern financial apps are designed by 25-year-olds in Silicon Valley.
True.
They rely on invisible gestures, swiping, and hidden hamburger menus. For an older demographic whose entire mental model of money involves physical exchange and highly visible ledger balances, a minimalist gesture-based app doesn't just feel confusing, it feels deeply untrustworthy. Which is a huge problem for the tech industry. Because with the global population over 60 projected to reach 22% by the year 2050, aging societies are genuinely going to struggle to achieve the massive network scale needed for digital tech to deliver its full value.
You literally can't reach mass adoption if a quarter of your population doesn't trust your interface.
Precisely. And because human behavior is this nuanced, caught between shopper guilt, the cognitive realities of aging, and the digital burnout from the AI flood we discussed earlier, the old, simplistic ways we used to measure digital success are completely breaking down.
They are entirely broken. I mean, look at the B2B content distribution system.
Oh, it's a mess.
It's largely being called a sham now. It has devolved into an arbitrage system flooded with programmatic bot traffic. A marketing dashboard might show 1,000 new leads, but those clicks were generated by autonomous scripts. There is absolutely zero human intent behind them.
And email marketing is suffering from the exact same illusion. Click rates are becoming a completely useless metric.
Wait, really? Why? Because people aren't reading them. Worse, because of how they are being processed by machines. First, you have AI inbox summaries that read the email, extract the value, and give the user the answer without them ever needing to open the message.
Right, Apple Intelligence and stuff doing summary.
Exactly. But second, you have corporate security filters. A security bot will automatically click every single link in an email the second it hits the server to check for malware.
Oh, so your marketing dashboard registers a 100% click-through rate?
Yes. But no human ever saw it. Engagement is happening, but the traditional tracking pixel is blinding you to reality. You have to measure replies and actual pipeline revenue now, not just clicks.
And, the data on creator ads, this absolutely blew my mind.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Brands are pivoting hard to influencer marketing, right? Assuming it's more authentic. But a massive study of 1.4 million ads showed that creators feature the actual brand logo at half the rate of brand-produced ads.
That is wild.
And they consistently use the incorrect brand colors.
Wait, let me get this straight. Brands are paying influencers massive amounts of money to make ads, and the creators aren't even showing the logo or using the right brand colors. How does anyone justify that ROI? It must lead to incredibly weak brand recall.
Well, this raises an important question, and it's really the core of the metrics problem. What is the difference between query intent and conversion intent?
Okay, break that down for me.
Query intent is simply what the user typed or clicked. Conversion intent is the underlying job the human actually needs to accomplish. If a creator makes a viral, funny video that gets 10 million views, Your query intent looks amazing on paper. But if they didn't show the logo, the viewer's conversion intent is zero. They don't know what to actually buy.
If your metrics don't align with conversion intent, you were just paying for vanity.
Exactly. So how do marketers actually adapt to all this broken machinery? One critical adaptation emerging is a role called product line marketing.
Product line marketing, what is that?
Well, as marketing departments decompose into hyper-specific roles, you have your SEO guy, your TikTok person, your email specialist, no one is sitting in the middle connecting the broader brand vision to the specific product features. The product line marketer sits between brand and product. They own that integrated story, ensuring the brand actually makes sense across all these fractured channels.
Makes total sense. And public relations outreach is another area undergoing radical adaptation. The old method of blasting a generic press release to a massive list of 10,000 journalists is dead. The research points to the FIT model format, industry, timing.
Explain why that works so much better.
Because it actually respects the journalist's workflow. If you tailor your pitch to the specific format a journalist usually writes in, say, they always write listicles, so you send them a pre-formatted listicle, you reduce their workload to practically zero.
That's smart.
Right. By hyper-targeting smaller lists using the FIT model, campaigns are generating 17 times more published links than massive spam blasts. It's entirely about relevance, not volume.
And timing matters everywhere, just like in lifecycle marketing. If you run a subscription service, you can't just market to a user the exact same way all year round. In the 90 days before their subscription renews, you have to hit them with specific messaging that reinforces the ROI they've gotten.
Remind them why they pay you.
Exactly. But crucially, in the final 30 days before renewal, you need to almost entirely suppress your automated marketing emails.
Wait, really? Why?
You have to get out of the way so you don't accidentally annoy them right when a customer success rep is trying to manually secure their renewal.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Nothing worse than getting an automated upsell email while you're on a support call complaining about a bug.
Exactly. It all comes down to building repeatable, highly intentional systems, especially as we integrate AI into these workflows. You can use tools like Claude Code for market research, but you have to build batch testing workflows. Because if you blindly trust it, the AI will happily invent plausible-sounding data that ruins your whole campaign.
And things are moving terrifyingly fast on the ad platform side, too. Get this. ChatGPT just rolled out self-serve ads with cost-per-click pricing.
Wow.
And Meta Ads launched AI connectors, allowing you to manage massive ad campaigns directly via prompts in Claude or Perplexity. But there's a massive warning light flashing here. Unapproved AI integrations have recently led to completely unexplained, permanent account shutdowns on Meta.
Yikes. So if the bot makes a mistake, your business just goes dark.
Yep. Oh, and amid all this futuristic chaos, we have to pour one out for Ask.com, which officially shut down on May 1st after 25 years on the internet.
Oh man, Ask Jeeves. It really is the end of an era. I mean, the shift from a humble, human-driven search engine like Ask.com to an autonomous AI agent secretly managing your ad spend. It perfectly encapsulates everything we've talked about today.
It's been an incredible journey unpacking all of this. I mean, we started with Google's AI building a continuous hidden profile of our lives, dictating what we see. We looked at how the very code of websites is being rebuilt to be agent-friendly for the bots browsing on our behalf. And yet, beneath all of that hyper-advanced zero-click infrastructure, success still completely hinges on the messy, deeply human realities of shopper guilt, our mimetic desire for status, and the cognitive friction of an aging population.
Which leaves you with a really profound question to consider. As AI agents increasingly do our web browsing for us, as they summarize our emails before we even read them, and as they generate the bulk of the content we consume, will the future of business be about persuading human beings? Or will it be entirely about persuading the algorithms that represent those humans?
That is the thought to mull over today. Next time you search for something online, remember, you are no longer walking into a public library. You are walking into a room built specifically for you by an intelligence that knows exactly what you've been reading. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the algorithms, keep exploring these ideas, and we will catch you next time.
Spoken Tech, for your ears.